get in there. Aston Villa have secured 3 points in the end at Luton Town. It finishes Luton Town 2, Aston Villa 3. Ultimately, Villa win in the last 9 minutes of the game. And thank bloody hell they did. Obviously, Villa, we're in a great position right now. We're still in top 4. Another good result last week against Nottingham Forest, admittedly over shaky circumstances. But ultimately tonight, it's all about 3 points. As long as we just get those 3 points, that's all that matters, because we're not really going to be talking about performance-wise. But today, I am going to be talking about performance-wise, because ultimately, whilst they say we're not going to focus on it as much when we look back upon these results, in the moment, I really need to talk about it, because it's something that's just really bugging me to watch. As it's become kind of a thing across the last few weeks or months even. We're going to have this kind of tendency where we're starting off first half's really strong. Like today, 2 great goals from Ollie Watkins. That's 16 goals now in the Premier League. He's reached his best goal total since being with the club. Absolutely amazing. Completely controlling the game. You think, right, Villa, we're going to try the game here. We're going to really quiet down the home end. Really put it on to Luton. They're really pressing high on us. Really trying to play a physical game with us. And ultimately, we're just outmuscling them, outplaying them with the quality of our football players. But the second half, what the bloody hell's happening every time? And this was the same after the Nottingham Forest game. We're conceding goals, and it's almost looking like a complete shadow of all the work that we did in the first half. We're conceding goals, and you're thinking, it doesn't really seem like Villa's going to get the win here, or at least at a point here. We could go on to lose it, and that's what it felt like to watch that last 45 minutes. Absolutely poor from Villa. We're not showing any enthusiasm. The desire to go and win the ball sometimes is just not there. And we just don't seem to look like we have any sense of coherence going forward after those 45 minutes. We're giving away sloppy goals in the first half. We're giving away sloppy goals in the second half. I thought the Chong goal, if anything, he's kind of marking all over Martinez. So I thought that should be considered a foul. But you know what you get. And then the second goal, completely no marking or concentration from anybody. And Clay Morris has just got a good goal to get back into the game for 2-2. And you're thinking, the way we're going, Villa are just going to concede here, and not ultimately what it's feeling like watching Villa in that second half. There just seems to be a switch that's turned off when Villa going into that second half, and we're not seeing the same enthusiasm. Morgan Rogers, for as good as he can potentially be, and someone that, when he's coming into the team, he somehow feels like a natural fit. Somebody that feels like he's already been playing with the team for a lot of time. For me, it's just looked so lackadaisical at times. I understand you can be on a yellow card, so you perhaps don't want to, tempt the ref by giving you a red, but you've got to show a bit more at times. I'm seeing him lose the ball and just not really put a bollock in to really go and get that recovery pass back or get that ball back for the team. It's just looking like somebody that's just on the pitch just because of an issue with Jacob Ramsey. Somebody that we are trying to rely heavily on, or at least, if needs be, trying to get as many players back to the team. Obviously, it was nice to see Konza come back in today. I thought he and Lenglet did really well defensively. It really does show how players like Konza can really influence a defensive line, and ultimately really see how sometimes just one addition of a player really changes the mentality. I thought Lenglet, he's obviously come in because of injuries. Pau Torres has been out, Diego Carlos is out, and we had no Tyrone Mings for pretty much the whole season. So to see someone like Lenglet, who was admittedly like a 4th or 5th choice for player and was only brought in as a emergency option, I think he's done really well. And if I'm being brutally honest, if he's carrying on the way he is, I would like to see, potentially as long as the money's reasonable, I think he'd be a decent sign, because like I said, we're going to need options depending on where we finish, if we finish in that top 6. Because I think ultimately, especially with the injuries, it's shown we need to have squad depth. And I think someone like him would be a really nice option to bring off the bench or even start with. But the same also goes with Konza there. Obviously going forward, Ollie Watkins, superb again, 16 goals for him. It's just somebody that has really found his real rhythm of flow under Unai Emery. Somebody that is really, over season, even under Gerrard, to be fair, but somebody that has really massively stepped up to the plate since being at the club, and has ultimately give us a figure going up forward to that. Okay, when John Duran is out, we've got somebody there. That is our option. Quite frankly, when you've got Ollie Watkins performing like that week in, week out, you don't really want to expect to see somebody else taking that position like Duran or even a Saniola, because all you need is Watkins sometimes, and that is what he's delivering, and that's all you can ask for from him. Obviously, the last goal, then a really great play from Diaby, a really brilliant crossing, and Digne at the back post with a nice little header near post to the goal. He should be saving it, but ultimately, he's got us those 3 points. He's got us over that line. And obviously, that is something that we massively have needed for going ahead into the Villa game. When you're going away to teams like this, especially Luton, who are down the bottom, they're going to be wanting all 3 points, or at least a point minimum, against the team that's been doing so well. It's going to really get them energised. like I said, when we was watching that for the last 45 minutes, it felt absolutely nervy to watch. But at least Villa have got it done. They've seen it through and are ultimately coming out of this with another win. That's another win away from home. And it's something that, for the next week now, we've got to put some big focus into it and a big set of confidence. Obviously, it is next Thursday, the start of our Conference League journey to really try and bring some silverware home. Ajax away from home. I don't know what to expect in this game. It's a big, big game for Villa to be putting up, especially at this stage in the competition. But I'm hoping Villa can at least do the job away from home and at least come out of that. And then straight away on that turn after, Tottenham at home on Sunday, and then Ajax again that Thursday, and then West Ham the week after. So a lot of games to play in the next 2 weeks. Some big games there. But I think ultimately, as long as we can do the business and at least be proud of ourselves in Ajax next week, I think that's all we can ask for. But performance-wise today, it needs to be addressed because I just can't physically want to. I don't really want to watch. One good first half and one bad first half, especially against Ajax, who are going to be a different predator competition against us with the calibre that they can be when they're on their form. And obviously Tottenham as well, who are starting to kind of get a bounce back. They had a good win today against Crystal Palace. We need to be on our game and we need to be showing some quality when we go into that second half. Otherwise, we're just going to get whitewashed and any chance of silverware is going to be dashed out the river. If we're going for a player man of the match, then it's going to have to be Ollie Watkins. 2 goals, really made the team look good going forward and always brings that credibility of threat going forward. But like I said, Ajax away from home next week and then Aston Villa at home against Tottenham on the Sunday. Let's hope for some good results there and let's hope Villa can bounce back. But ultimately, let us know in the comments down below what you thought of the game today. What would you say really needs to be changing going forward into the second half so we don't see these, clear-cut leads being given away so easily and ultimately Villa can stamp some clean sheets back onto the board. But yeah, Luton Town 2, Aston Villa 3. Come on, the Villa. We'll see you next time.